I turned 13 in the first lockdown. My little sister is disabled and her conditions make her extremely vulnerable to infections. Lockdowns were when I felt safest, as it seemed like there was better understanding about vulnerable families like mine. But I eventually had to go back to school and mitigations began to be lifted. There was no real understanding the risk to my family was still there. I continued to wear a mask to try my best to protect my sister and asked for windows to be open for ventilation. I was eventually the only child wearing a mask and became a target for bullying, not just from other students, but staff and even parents. I was coughed at, sworn at, verbally abused, physically intimidated, had windows slammed shut, and experienced targeted abuse on social media. It only got worse over time. One member of staff even asked, "What would you do if someone ripped the mask off your face?" School became terrifying. Rather than address the issues, I was told the bullies would move on to someone else eventually. The failure of my school to manage the very real risk from COVID and the behaviour of other people forced me to make the decision to leave school halfway through my A-levels. All of my teenage years have been affected by the pandemic. Where the impact of lockdowns on young people has been acknowledged, the burden and impact on young people in clinically vulnerable families is never acknowledged. Like the toll of carrying the burden of being the risk to your vulnerable family member, having to advocate for improved air quality, defend yourself for continuing to wear a mask, or endure abuse because I remind people of a pandemic they'd rather forget. We were told to protect the most vulnerable, but why was it my responsibility to make sure school was safe enough for me to attend? My sister is 13 now and still extremely vulnerable. Outside of my family, who's protecting her now?